So guys, this video is going to be a little bit different. Josh, over there, up there, has come in today and said, can we build a gaming table? He needs one for this project he's working on. Thing is, he's never built a gaming table before. So this is going to be interesting, isn't it?
Yep.
So I thought it'd be a great video to show me teaching this noob how to build a gaming table. So I'll see you in a bit. So, what foam have you brought with you? I suppose I've got to use my materials.
So, the foam of choice for a board build like this is 5mm or 6mm underfloor insulation foam. The reason we use this foam is it's very durable, it takes detail very well, and it's very affordable. And from Josh's perspective, it's even cheaper because he didn't bloody pay for it. Josh,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
I'm marking to cut the square out that I need.
Yeah, but look at where it is. It's in the middle of chuffing board. Use edge. It's already straight.
Alright.
I can tell you're not paying for foam.
Alright.
So once we'd figured out the most economic way to cut the foam, Josh cracked on with this, and surprisingly, he's good at cutting foam. Now, with this being Josh's first board, I didn't want to throw him in too much at the deep end, so I told him to get some resin terrain or 3D print something that he likes the look of. Because building foam buildings and doing everything yourself on the first board, it's a bit much. So we 3D printed some ruins that he got from Corvus Games Terrain, and because this is a board that he wants to use for multiple systems. So we're going for like a very modern, American sort of little street town. However, Josh, like an idiot, printed these directly on the bed and they did warp a little bit, but we're building a ruined little town, so I told him to bring them anyway and we'll make it work. Now, we haven't glued anything down at this point, and the reason for this is we need to plan how deep the paths are going to be and how wide the road's going to be. And you don't glue anything down at this point because you need to be able to remove the foam and move it around once it's cut.
How would you glue that in?
PVA.
You fucking noob.
He is a noob because, I mean, he can't even get glue out the bottle or even take the lid off. So, come on, Josh. Wow.
There you go.
Just wow.
Problem solved.
Brilliant.
In all fairness, PVA glue could have been used, but we needed to get this done. Polyurethane glue goes off in about 20 minutes, so you can continue to work and crack this board out in one go. For the roads, we're going to be using cork sheeting. We could have used a more complicated method, but this is a lot easier and simple for his first road and board build. And actually, in the end, it turned out to be quite nice looking for how simple it was. But you'll see that later.
Right, Josh. What you want to do here is while you're cutting that bit of road out, the reason we've put the cork down first is so you cut around, you cut into this black foam underneath, but you take that just under a bit and you can tear it and you get that sort of jaggedy, broken edge look.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think Josh really understood what I meant by cutting holes in the boards. I think he took it a little bit too literal.
Right, Josh. Seem as though you just, I know I told you to cut an hole, so you just cut a fucking perfect circle.
Alright.
That looks natural, doesn't it? Brilliant. Right, I've done this one. Can you see the difference? Looks a bit more natural. That just looks like an orange.
So I stepped back in and I showed him another few more techniques for like just scuffing up the surface and showing like some sort of cracks in the asphalt. And I let him have a go at this as well.
Are you sure you're going to be capable of that?
Yeah, I'll do my best.
You're going to cut another great big orange?
No.
Bloody hell, mate. Don't take all day.
I got told off for cutting too much last time, so...
It's like watching Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's alright, isn't it?
Yeah. Learnt his lesson after the first mistake.
Yeah.
All that exact nice work that you did, and now you're just going at it like an absolute maniac. Look at the state of that. Right, ease your horses. 1 minute, bloody, cutting oranges in a road. Next minute, trying to get architectural, wanting a path.
So after he'd talked about building a path, I thought it'd be a good time at this to stick down the lampposts and start working on the sidewalks, as you Americans call them. It's a path. But anyway, unknown to science, we were sticking down all the terrain with superglue on this foam. It works, and I don't know why, but it works. So if you're using this sort of foam, you can use superglue to stick stuff down. Now for texturing the path, we decided to use the Darryl stone, as I like to call it. The reason it's called the Darryl stone is Darryl brought it in because it had some lovely textures on it. And it does work well on foam when I do it.
You've got the touch of Bebop and Rocksteady.
Brilliant. Shout out to everyone that understood that reference.
Because as you can tell, Josh was pressing far too hard. I did the other side, and it was a lot more subtle. But it's a technique you have to practice. For his first go, it wasn't too bad. And then it was just a matter of scribing in the curves with a pencil.
So while you're doing the all-important straight lines that you keep getting wrong, right, do you want me to put some damaged cracks and things in your path? Tool like that.
You're a tool.
Yeah, brilliant. And then just drag it up.
That's clever.
Don't step on a crack because you'll fall and break your back. Now I'm not going to let you do this because we'll end up with chuffing, here's Johnny coming through it. Here's bloody Pickle.
And then what I asked him to do was just throw a bit of arid earth base ready around just to add some more realistic textures so it doesn't look as much like just foam and cork together. We're adding this base ready on there just to add a little bit more coarse and roughness around. And Josh was surprisingly good at this.
Well, we found one good thing you're good at.
I'm good at cutting foam.
You're good at cutting foam, yeah, that's right. And you're good at chucking muck around.
Yeah. Look at my salt bay. What shall I do about this bit?
What bit?
Where foam, where it's two different pieces of foam, this big line.
This is the benefits of terrain. You can spend your time making it smooth and nice, but because it's quite a ruined board, you can just damage it and tie it in rather than wasting time making it look like one piece of foam. Come on, give it some. You know, like your Bebob and Rocksteady earlier, and now you're tickling it. See? That better?
Marvellous.
Bloody French tickler over here. Right, mate, so for priming it, you're going to use some normal acrylic paint. I mean, you could chuck some PVA glue in it if you want. For some reason, unknown to science, super glue doesn't react with this foam, but aerosols do. So otherwise, you're going to end up with looking like a teenager's face. So
once we'd got that black base coat down, we could go in there with a spray can and just zenithal highlight it, so Josh could actually go in there and do something that he's actually good at, which is airbrushing and painting things. However, I did have to step in because watching Josh airbrush and mess around painting this was doing my head in a bit. So I stepped in to show him some awesome time-saving techniques.
I'm going to spray your lampposts.
No, you're not.
I am.
No, you're not. After all this been painting for however long.
Too long.
But no, look at this magic trick. Piece of paper like that, look.
Yeah. Please don't spray everything.
I won't. I'm a professional.
When?
No need for your fancy airbrushes and See? Was that better? Was that quicker?
So once I'd stepped in and showed him how to do things a lot quicker, we cracked on with the lines, which we just masked off with some masking tape. And I told him to stipple that on rather than messing around with bloody airbrush, just because it makes it look a bit rougher, and with the board being a bit weathered, it looked a bit more weathered and blended with the board better.
Ready to put the wash on now?
No. We need to do all your brickwork first to make that look a bit more interesting.
Brickwork's done.
It's not. We need to put grout in it and pointing. Just a bag of this, a bag of ivory tile grout.
Right.
All you've got to do, mate, put some dust on a brush, like that, and then dust it all over the place.
It's white everywhere.
I know.
Brilliant. I'm glad that I've spent all that time painting.
Yeah, don't worry about it. And then what you do then, you get a wet sponge and wipe it away. Look at that. See? It looks better, doesn't it?
Yeah, looks alright.
Now the board's at this stage, what we need to do is scare Josh a bit. And what we've got to do is put a wash all over this. Now, you don't use acrylic washes on terrain boards this size, especially when you're doing a full all over wash. We use oils, and the reason we do this is you've got a hell of a lot longer working time. And if you do make any mistakes, it's easy to remove any tide marks or anything like that with just a bit more white spirit.
But he just painted that donut.
Yeah, you're a donut.
And it does look terrifying at this point, and Josh was panicking that I'd ruined all his airbrushing. But he soon changed his tone once he started dabbing it off.
Yeah, that's exactly what you need to do. Brilliant.
Now once that's dry, it looks 1,000 times better already. But what we've got to do now is just highlight a few of them details.
I'm making you a palette. There you go, look. Proper big dry brush palette now, look. Put an hole in it there. Perfect.
Like Bob Ross.
Yeah.
Can you only having a shave? So using some cheap acrylics, we're just going on with a really soft brush, bringing up all that extra rubble and detailing the sidewalks, paths, whatever you want to call them, and just dry brushing it all back up to accentuate some of the damage and everything else and make it look a bit more natural. However, this does look painted. It doesn't look real enough. So this is why we go in there with some real textures again. And we go in there with arid earth base ready, some city rubbles, and we throw them around. And it's surprising how just adding these little bits make a massive difference to the overall appearance. And Josh was really shocked at how much it added just throwing this one product on a painted board. It sort of breaks it up, and because it's all nice colours and nice textures, it adds a lot for very little work. And we'll seal this down later.
Right, Josh.
Yep.
Get a bag of patchy planes. Well prepared. From Geekgaming Scenics. Bag of patchy.
Geekgaming Scenics. Terrain to fighter.
And just adding some different variants with different base readies just to change it up a bit and add some different textures to different parts of the board. Now this is where Josh is doing something that he's never done before. He's going to have a go at static grassing.
Yeah. Don't get anywhere where you don't want it.
The thing I've learnt, guys, this is a fantastic terrain tip from me, Josh the terrain guy. If you get glue anywhere you don't want it, just wipe it and it's not there anymore. Stay tuned for more top tips.
Yeah, Josh is full of good tips, but he can't get a lid on an applicator, so don't listen to everything he says. However, once he got the lid on, it's one of them things is static grass. It adds a bit of colour and brings the board to life because it is a very grey, dull, grim board. And adding a few layers of static grass makes a massive difference. And this was one of the things that Josh really enjoyed doing. And I think he'd do it a lot more.
Luke, what are you doing?
Well, these roofs will look a bit plain.
Right.
So I'm putting some fast dry basing glue down. And then you know how, like in America when they do alt films, I don't know whether it's a thing that they have, but they have like what we call roof felt. Some roofs look like that. I don't know whether they put chip-ins or whatever on the roofs, but that's what we're going to try and emulate. And we have a product in the Geekgaming range called granite dust. And when you look at it on, it looks like little chip-ins, look.
Just showing Josh adding a few extra little details to what most people would call finish, and it's very easy to do, very quick, and it just makes the model look a lot different. Now, sealing all that down, because we've been applying everything pretty dry at the moment, so we seal all that down with matte Scenic sealant, and then dab up any areas that have gone into the recesses where we're putting the resin. This is a very simple process. We just mix the resin as directed on the bottles and pour that in.
It's a small hole you're putting it in. Don't miss it.
Heard that before.
Yeah. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Right, so that's all the resin down now. We're going to have to leave it overnight to dry, and obviously all that sealant glue needs time to dry. And then tomorrow it's the last few details just to finish it all off, which is a few tufts, a few static grass techniques that I've not really shown anyone properly, so we'll get that in. And maybe a few weathering powders, eh Josh?
Yeah, looking forward to getting it finished.
Yeah. And we'll get some pictures with some models on and see what you guys think to Josh's first board. Because I'm pretty impressed to say that he's done most at work.
To say that I'm not a terrain guy.
Yeah, and yeah. Cool, I'll see you in the AM.
So once it had all dried up, it looked 1,000 times better. All I got Josh to do was just add a bit more static grass tufts to areas, and I showed him how to layer grass up using the applicator, and that sort of added some nice length and a lot more textures in the unused parts of the board.
Come and back it off. Na 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 na. Come and back it off, back it off. Come and back it off.
I didn't know you bought a Titan.
I have, yeah, and I've built it. It's working and everything. If everybody wants to see us using the Titan, let us know in the comments below.
Now up to this point, Luke has failed to mention that there is also a video on my channel. So if you want to see this board build from my perspective and my thoughts on building my first board, make sure to go and check that. Link in the description down below.
Now answer that's done, Josh.
Yeah, me too.
All you need to do now is paint the rim black. And then we'll show it all off.
So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I just thought I'd do this with Josh, one, so I could teach him a little bit of making boards, but two, just to show that it's not that hard. This is Josh's first attempt at doing something like this, and to be totally honest, I've not done a board like this before either. And it's very quick, it's very easy, and I hope this video has learnt you something, or at least inspired you to do your first table. If Josh can do it, anyone can do it. But anyway guys, thanks for watching this video, and if you want to support the channel, do check all the links to buy any of the Scenics used in this video. As always guys, I'll catch you for the next one. Love, love, love.